And I know to do what we do, you gotta be able to take abuse. You gotta be able to have people talk crazy about you.
Jada says she's not coming, protesting. I'm like, is she on a TV show? Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
あら、どうなんでしょうか。
Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
ウィル・スミスにやられました。
Wow, dude! It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. ジェーンのジョークだったんです。
I'm going to.
In this business, you gotta be able to have people disrespecting you. And you gotta smile and you gotta pretend like that's okay. I wanna be a vessel for love. I wanna say thank you to Venus and Serena. I just spit, I hope they didn't see that on TV. I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena and the entire Williams family for entrusting me with your story. That's what I want to do. I want to be an ambassador of that kind of love and care and concern. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees.
Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Chris Schul, aka the Esoteric Noetic, aka the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother from Ghana, West Africa, dropping the wisdomatic truth bombs, giving it to you live, uncensored, I think magic in real time. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your momos, drop us the comments, let us know what it is. Let's get it. All right, so it's been over 24 hours since this Chris Rock, Will Smith entanglement took place, and I use the word entanglement because if you have a look at Jada Pinkett's show, The Red Table, where she used the term entanglement to describe her affair with the singer August when she was speaking to Will Smith, this is what acted as the catalyst to what we are seeing now. You have a look at what went on, and it wasn't just a response to Chris Rock saying something about Jada Pinkett's hair. No, there is a lot of stuff to unpack that is going on in the mind of Will Smith, and we're going to get to that. But ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to say that a lot of people in the truth movement are saying that this whole deal is a distraction, that the media has got us to focus on these celebrities like Will Smith and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett and so forth, when we should be focusing on the real issue, the war that may be just around the corner, World War III, essentially. The real issue of the pedophiles in government, of the erosion of freedoms and so forth, but instead we're focusing on these peripheral issues. This is what magicians do. They distract you, right? They get you to focus on something when the real issue is going on here. And look, whereas I can understand that viewpoint, the reality is that what has taken place here, the discussion that is coming forth from this, is actually very important. There are a lot of momos that, rather than focusing on the fact that it's not cool to assault someone, are focusing on feelings. But like, I feel is what I'm hearing from a lot of the girls. That, yeah, we understand that, violence is wrong, but look, you gotta understand that it's not right to say mean things about a woman and her hair. And look, here's the thing, I understand that. I understand it's not cool, but let's be very clear about this. What took place, Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock, is not cool. And if you were one of these momos that wants to say, oh, it's complicated, which a lot of people have been saying, and they say this because they don't want to get on the wrong side here, or they don't want to be branded as one thing or the other. This is the politics of the 21st century. You don't want to be isolated by your peer group, but it's incumbent upon us to speak the truth, particularly when it comes to actual human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not cool to smack someone. It's not cool to assault someone when all they have done is said unsavory words towards you. And I covered this in the last video. I just want to make that clear so it doesn't seem as if I am giving justifications for Will Smith's behavior. And the good thing is Will Smith has apologized officially. Now, there are some people that think this whole thing was staged, and it's understandable because it is the Oscars and they do tend to stage certain things like that. But anyone that has watched the video understands the context behind what is going on, realizes that this thing is not staged. 100%, this thing is 100% real. If you actually watch the video and you weren't thinking about your conspiratorial notions of why this thing may have been planned and so forth, it is very clear that we're dealing with raw emotions here. It's very clear that the anger that was felt by Will Smith, that the unease that could be felt, that was palpable, that could be even felt through the television, was real. Chris Rock did not see that coming one bit, and his behavior, I think, was evident of that. And here's the thing, guys: a lot of people watch these videos and they can't seem to delineate between when something is real and when something is fake. I've watched a lot of these videos in the past, and I'm always right. Because most people, they tend to look at things logically. They try to figure out why things may have been staged. They use this ends justifies the means kind of logic. Well, look what's happened, therefore it must have been planned. This is what the conspiracy hobbyists tend to do. However, if you use your intuition, your instincts here, and you have a look at the body language, 100% it's obvious, even when good actors are not acting. And I've watched so many of these kind of videos in the past where the vast majority of people claim that, oh, look, it's fake or it's not fake. And I'm always right, because I'm not looking at things in terms of like what is supposed to play out, but I'm just looking at human interaction here. If you were one of these conspiracy hobbyists, and I say this because a lot of people are always looking for everything to be a conspiracy, but the reality is there are certain things that even take place in Hollywood that are not planned. People lose their shit. Actors are human, and they sometimes make a fool of themselves. But look, to the greater issue here, Will Smith's behavior was morally reprehensible, and he has apologized. Now, granted, his speech was not indicative of that. The speech that he gave during the award ceremony is pretty much saying that, look, he feels like he needs to, he's been put on this earth in order to be a strong defender of people, to love people, I quote. And it really didn't seem like an apology. But of course, he has actually written an official apology, not condoning his behavior. And I think reason being, he probably didn't want to lose his Oscar. He probably didn't want to find himself in a situation where half of the community are against him. And there are a lot of people that are not down with what he's done. However, there are also a lot of people that are making false claims in regards to Will Smith's character, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that Will Smith is weak. Will Smith is anything but weak, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I heard some person comment that, you know, look at that bitch-ass slap. I mean, Will Smith can't do any damage. You guys are fucking insane. Now, I don't, like, Will Smith may be in his early 50s, but that guy is fit and strong as fuck. He works out. And he is more disciplined, arguably more disciplined than anyone in the entertainment industry. I mean, I've heard many trainers, when they were working with Will Smith for instance, the movie Ali, they were saying that, I remember his trainer said that he'd only dealt with one person that had the work ethic of Will Smith, and that was Sugar Ray Leonard, the famous boxer. Will Smith is a hard-ass, disciplined mofo, and he applies this in every area of his life. If you want to think he is weak, you are completely insane. And then in terms of his simp mentality, what a lot of people got to realize is, look, I'm not condoning his behavior in terms of, even the choices he's made. I'm not condoning his behavior, obviously, in slapping Chris Rock, and I'm not even condoning his choices in terms of choosing to be with Jada. I mean, that's his prerogative. He loves the woman, and you know, love makes you do crazy things. That being said, it's not a justification for domestic violence. You know, that seems to be what a lot of the domestic violence people say when they do crazy shit, and you don't get away with that just because you were an A-grade celebrity. That being said, him making the decision to be open and transparent in regards to what he's been feeling, that takes a lot of courage, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but it takes a lot of courage. It may not always be the wisest thing to do, like to open up and bare your soul. You often find that when you do that, you know, people will bite you in the ass. But he has been very transparent. During the conversation with Jada Pinkett during the Red Table, essentially Will Smith did not lose his cool once because he loves the woman. Despite Jada not wanting to take any accountability, saying that she didn't even deem what took place between her and August, which is essentially infidelity. Now, I understand that they have some kind of agreement, so, you know, it's neither here or there. It may not be infidelity. Maybe they had this understanding that they could sleep with whoever they want. I think it was provided they let each other know, right? But she did not deem that as a transgression. This is what she has been quoted as saying. It was necessary in her development. And that seems like a very piss-weak move to make. And a lot of people have called Will Smith a simp for not, at that point, just drawing the line and saying, look, I've had it. This relationship is over. And putting this woman on the curb. Of course, she wouldn't be on the curb. She's Jada. Not as successful as Will Smith, but obviously, you know, she's a successful woman. The point being, though, that it does take a lot of courage for him to do what he's done. A lot of people in this 21st century culture seem to think, a lot of men, I've noticed, look at vulnerability as being somehow a weak trait. Now, it may not be the wisest thing to display your vulnerability in a situation, particularly when it deals with a woman betraying you and letting her know how you feel, rather than, just taking on this strong line of like, I don't care, I can replace you. What do they say? Don't chase, replace. But the reality is it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to do that, to actually open yourself up to the slings and arrows of what people say, what people think. People don't realize that this guy is under a lot of pressure right now. I mean, he's basically had his manhood broken down by so many people because of this discussion that took place with Jada Pinkett in the Red Table. There are a lot of people criticizing his choices. A lot of people that put blame on him because his woman has gone off and cheated on him, which is an absolutely ridiculous idea, by the way, to actually make a man culpable for the actions of a woman. Granted, there are always things that you can do to ensure that stuff never happens in the first place. There are always standards that we can set. But when the people are individuals, and people sometimes just do crazy things for various reasons, and let's make this very clear. When a woman goes out and cheats on you, when you have an agreement, I mean, assuming that this is a monogamous relationship and you've spoken about this to show fidelity towards each other, it is on her, not you. If you are doing something in the relationship that is wrong, then she should leave you. This is obvious. And look, I understand that you can always do things. I mean, I think Jada Pinkett made the point that if Will Smith really loved her, that he would have known that she cheated, which is female logic. It's like, oh, it sounds great. It sounds like a beautiful idea. But when you actually look at this under the microscope, it's ridiculous. You can't always know what someone is thinking. Human beings do express a lot through their body language, but we're not soothsayers here. For someone just to know exactly what you're going through all the time because you're in a relationship, it doesn't work like that. And let's be very clear about this. What she did was not cool. I'm talking about Jada here. But Will's attitude of being willing to be open and vulnerable about this kind of stuff, that takes strength. And the point I'm trying to paint out here is that it's the strongest men that actually have the ability to open themselves up to things like that. Rather than playing this game, showing this facade, fronting, and pretending that they don't feel the pain, they're actually raw with their emotions and actually tell people how they are feeling. That takes a tremendous amount of strength. And the vast majority of fucking momos and piss-weak men out there don't have the courage to do that. They're always wearing this mask because they feel as if they need to project an image of strength. The strong people that are so over this game, over this bullshit, don't feel the need to do that. That being said, going out and slapping someone in the face like that because you were trying to make a point, that's where he crossed the line. And quite frankly, that was an insecure thing to do. I think he fell victim to the public opinion, the fact that there's so many people that are judging him for not manning up. And as a result, he's decided to actually make a stand here and do something. But the reality is, at least for people like me that actually see through this nonsense, we realize that this kind of behavior is indicative of someone that is actually in pain. It's not a strong thing to do. The strongest thing you can do is to do that which you are most afraid of. To do that which you know to be right. However, you do it nonetheless. And for someone like Will Smith, it is an incredibly difficult thing to do to actually keep this stuff inside you, to actually not launch out and slap people. Of course, he crossed that line, You can only maintain your strength for so long in a lot of these situations when love is involved. But nonetheless, it's important for us to continue to do so, to strive to be the best that we can be. But look, he acknowledges that he fucked up, and I give him respect for that. And I was reading through a lot of the comments that people were making. God, people are hilarious. I love some of the comments. People were saying, my favorite one is that in an alternate universe, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, gave the award speech for the Oscars, and Will Smith just laughed. There's no way Will Smith would go up and smack The Rock, right? But he chose to do that to Chris Rock because he's Chris Rock, you know? I mean, the guy's not some 6 foot plus towering muscle man that's gonna bitch slap you back to Africa. You know, another ridiculous thing that I'm hearing that I just want to mention is that there are people that are saying right now that you shouldn't be commenting on this issue if you are not black. This is the most ludicrous thing. Like, this is some kind of a racial issue, all right? This is a black man slapping another black man. This has nothing to do with race. Nothing to do with race. Now, granted, there are other issues connected to this, like domestic violence and women perhaps controlling their men. Because at the heart of this thing is Jada Pinkett telling Will Smith or giving Will Smith some look in order to that look, hey, this is the reason why I slept with another man, because you don't defend me, you know. And Will Smith has gotten this idea, presumably, that he needs to make a stand here. So even though he's laughing throughout the joke, he decides to go out and make a stand and slap Chris Rock to show his manhood. That's what happens when you let a woman control you, you know. And look, this is just my thoughts on this in terms of, look, we all do things for people we love, but it's important not to cross the line. There is no amount of money, there is no amount of love, no amount of obsession that is going to make me do something that I believe is wrong. Period. That's just who I am. That being said, doesn't mean I don't want to do that stuff. And it also doesn't mean that I'm going to find other ways to get back at someone, you know, that don't cross the line, like saying something really douchey about them, making a joke about them, or cutting them out and so forth, or speaking to that person privately, telling him that he's a fucking douchebag for saying something because it's offended my girl, you know? That being said, look, people have a right to express their thoughts. The last thing I want is a world where we can't express how we feel because some people are going to be offended. We can't even crack jokes. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I covered a lot of issues there. I'm going to read some comments I came across just quickly to end this off. One was that my wife is not open for jokes, but she is open to other men. Quote, Will Smith. Of course, Will Smith never said this, but that's hilarious, right? Because that's the precedent that's been set. Oh, another. I can't be in a relationship with a person who uses violence to communicate their feelings. Quote, Jada Pinkett. I don't believe she actually said this, but it would be hilarious if she did. That someone made that as a comment, right? Just given everything that's happened, that's absolutely insane. But yeah, people are very opinionated of what happened, and they have a right to express their thoughts. The idea of saying that you can't even express your thoughts like this because you're not the right color or you're not a man or woman is absolutely insane, which some people are saying. But let's get this very clear. Whereas we all have opinions on what took place in terms of whether or not it was appropriate for someone to feel that way, act that way given the situation, let's be very clear that what took place was wrong in terms of it being not just against the law, but against like the natural law. Like, it's something that you don't do just because you're angry. Your feelings are irrelevant in regards to acting violence. However, in my opinion, it is understandable why people would act out like that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. That's a very long rant, but I wanted to talk about my thoughts on what took place in a more detailed video. Be sure to give us a like, tell your mom, tell your friends, drop us the comments, and let us know your thoughts on the Chris Rock versus Will Smith entanglement. Peace out. Surya Namaskar, Namaste. Boom shakalaka.
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.